Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
I'm Julie Sies, and I'm here with Grandmaster Marco Sies, and we're on the road. We're doing our little series, Conversations from the Road, and on our Master Method Spotlight, we do a instructor spotlight where we get to know one of our instructors, and who better to start with 7-time world champion, 10th degree black belt, founder of the Master Method Academies and the Uchido International Martial Arts Federation. So, welcome, Grandmaster Marco,
Hello,
to
hello.
our truck studio.
Well, so excited driving through the Smoky Mountains. It doesn't get any more beautiful than this. It's just incredibly
Absolutely.
pretty.
So, okay, well, we're going to start off our instructor spotlight series with you and your story. So, tell us a little bit about where you came from. Where did you grow up? Tell us about your childhood.
I was born and raised in Santiago, Chile, in South America. I grew up at the foothills of the Andes Mountains, and it was very cool because during that time, it used to be a beautiful forest near my house, probably about half a mile. It was a eucalyptus forest. So every time it rained in the winter, you come out of the house and you smell this beautiful eucalyptus scent. And that's one of the most vivid memories, of every winter in Santiago, at least on this part where I grew up. And the benefits of growing up, in that environment right by the mountains is that you're right there with nature. I used to literally look up outside my house and you see this huge mountain right behind it. That was my backyard. I used to play there. I used to train there, go running, go training. I have my little spots where every week, a few times a week, my friends and I we used to get together and train in those mountains. So to me, that was a very special place.
So, speaking of training, when did you start martial arts?
Well, that question is a little bit of a mystery because I started training with my dad when I was a kid. He said that I started when I was 5 years old, but I am not 100% sure because if I look at it from my perspective, when I was 11 years old, that's when I got really serious with martial arts. So I look at that as like the beginning of my training. But also, I started kicking since I started walking. So probably I did my first kicks when I was like 2 years old. So that's a difficult question to answer.
So, what kind of martial arts did you do in the very beginning? What was your first introduction?
I started with Japanese karate, and my first style was Shotokan. That was my very first style of martial arts. And then I did many other martial arts styles later on, like Goju Ryu. I did, of course, professional kickboxing. I did Muay Thai, professional boxing for many years. I taught Tang Soo Do for a long time, Taekwondo, Kyokushin, Jiu-Jitsu, and Aido, many other styles of martial arts. I got black belts in over 10 styles of martial arts.
What was your first black belt?
He was a black belt in kickboxing, but also in Taekwondo as well. But my first high-ranking black belt, very meaningful to me, it was in Taekwondo. That was my very first high-ranking black belt. I'm talking about the first time that I achieved a 4 dan. It was Taekwondo. Yeah.
Well, and you ended up achieving master's ranking in quite a few different styles as well, right?
Yes. I have many different styles that I became actually a master, including Kyokushin, karate, and Goju Ryu, of course. And, Taekwondo, I did Korean style Taekwondo and American style Taekwondo also. I got the honor that I got to work in the John Rhee system for a number of years, he's the founder of Taekwondo in America.
Who would you say was your biggest influences growing up, in martial arts and two, just personally?
Well, in martial arts, I grew up since I was a kid, looking at Bruce Lee posters. and watching Bruce Lee movies. And when I was very little, what I was aspiring to be, I wanted to be like Bruce Lee. And I had this big poster, in my room. And every day I'll do my exercises, I'll do my push-ups, and then I look at the poster and say, oh, I'm looking at Bruce Lee now. I'm getting closer. But my biggest influence, I have to say, growing up, it was my grandfather. I call him Tata. He passed away many, many years ago. But he was an example of kindness, of love, of humility. And I was strived to be like him. And I just remember his love and kindness towards me. It was something that it will live with me forever.
And then as you got older into your adult years, did you have influences, mentors, people that were significant to you?
Yeah, I have many masters, and in many different styles. Like even in Chile, I cannot even count how many masters I have because of so many different styles I did. But I would say maybe some of the most influential ones. Growing up as a kid, of course, I had to give credit to my dad for starting me into this. But later on, training with Hernan and Javier Martinez, and I got my first steps in kickboxing with them, even though they had a very strong Taekwondo background because they were a student of Jung Chong in California before they moved back to Chile. And they were very close with them. But later on, growing up in Taekwondo, Grandmaster Wu in Virginia, it's a very special to me. And of course, Chihana Grela, who passed away a long time ago, he was my Aido and Kyokushin Grandmaster. Jinpal Kim, I want to say, Grandmaster Jinpal Kim, he is my closest master. And he's famous not just for doing 7 movies in Hong Kong in the 70s, but also being Jackie Chan's master. I think that's pretty cool. All growing up, Jackie Chan as a teenager, he trained with Grandmaster Jinpal Kim, and to share the same master is pretty awesome.
Well, I think that hearing about your lineage is so important. Well, it's just interesting in general, but for our students especially, because that becomes their lineage. And we've talked about this a little bit before too. It's kind of like, your dad or grandpa, and then, their great grandpa or great grandmasters are quite a elite set of individuals that, their lineage stems from.
Yeah, well, in finishing your question that you answered me earlier was, what are some of my most closest masters per se? And I have to say, Jinpal Kim is my closest master, and he was my Hapkido grandmaster. He made me a master. Also, Chihana Grela, he was Kyokushin, direct student of Masayama. And he passed away a few years ago. But also, some of my coaches too, they're not martial art masters per se, but nonetheless, they were a very, very important part of my journey. And my boxing coach, my first boxing coach, his name was Fred, Coach Fred. He passed away many years ago. But after I got to work with him, I got the honor to work with Terrell Tyson, who's a former world champion in boxing. I worked with him for a couple of years. But I ended up, towards the end, with probably one of the best coaches of all times in professional boxing, Jose Pepe Correa. He was known for his work with Sugar Ray Leonard. He actually started Sugar Ray Leonard in boxing when Sugar Ray was 14 years old. And he still talks very fondly of Sugar Ray. So I'm very honored that I got to work towards the end of my career with Pepe. The last 6 years of my career, I worked with him and at the Sugar Ray Training Center. But I have many other mentors too. My first inspiration in kickboxing was Bill Wallace. I wanted to be like Bill Wallace, and I got the honor that I got to train with him too. So, and all of that lineage is part of my students as well.
It's so special, and I hope all of our students get to understand that, and hearing it from you, where you came from, who your influences were, who your lineage, your martial arts lineage, it becomes their lineage too, and it really is
Absolutely.
meaningful and special and very significant.
Absolutely. And that's how Uchido came to be. The martial arts styles that I founded and recognized by the BKF in 2018 as an official style of martial art, but it came from all of these different martial arts and areas that I had all of these mentors and people that helped me shape my teachings as a martial arts master or grandmaster.
Okay, now let's shift just a little bit as we wind down our little get to know you interview. When you look back at your life, it's not like you're old or anything, but you're mature and you are a grandmaster. But if you could just take little snapshots from your childhood and growing up, what are some of the things you're most proud of up to this point, professionally and personally?
Let me begin professionally. Professionally, I have to say it's an evolution of things. First, I wanted to become a world champion. That was the goal that I had since I was 15 years old. And I achieved that not only one time, but 7 times. Well, later on, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I was very proud of the different aspects of it, because the first time I got inducted into the Hall of Fame was as a fighter, as the best fighter pound per pound in 2002. In 2008 at Madison Square Garden, it had nothing to do with fighting. It was all about teaching. I was Master Instructor of the Year. I was inducted by late Grandmaster Aaron Banks, which in his own right, he was very legendary, because he was the first person that actually televised kickboxing or in kickboxing events from Madison Square Garden. So he made it pretty big, actually. And I got inducted by him, so that was very honored. And the next one, it was 2013 by World Martial Arts. It's a magazine by YK Kim. He was as a leader in the industry of martial arts. So it's different aspects. And later I got other other Hall of Fames, and like the United States Hall of Fame induction that I just got, and that kind of thing. So I'm very, very proud of him. Not for my ego, it's just I get to see firsthand the impact that my work has on other people, and the work that I did in the past has on others. And that's always been my biggest pride, is to find ways to help people. And my soft spot is always being children. It's not like I don't like adults or anything like that. I love teaching adults, but I do have a soft spot for children. And a lot of the projects that are in the making right now for the future, I am professionally, I'm very proud of them already. We have bullying book coming up, which I know is going to help children across the world, all around the world. And that book is not even out yet. It's in the making, but it's going to have such an impactful effect. And I am really so proud of it, regardless of any other world championships that I might have. And personally, I have to say, as a martial artist, as a master, there is 3 parts, in martial arts that I want to talk about. Number one is the physical aspect of martial arts. It is the development of the art itself. And then it's the development of your mind, your mindset, and then the development of the spirit. That to me, it will always be my biggest accomplishment. And every day I can say that I'm topping it, because every day I feel like I'm a better person, and that's the purpose of martial art. It's not something that I achieved a year ago, 2 years ago. That is something that continues to evolve and to change. I want to be today a better person than I was yesterday. I want to be today a more peaceful person than I was yesterday. I want to be today a kinder person than I was yesterday. I want to be today a more compassionate person than I was yesterday.
Well, I can attest to that, just being a witness to your evolution. You know, we've known each other probably for a couple of decades, and I've seen your journey. I've seen what you wanted to accomplish personally and professionally. And even way back when I first met you, you were always talking about wanting to be a better person. You never claimed to be, I'm so perfect and unflawed, but striving to be better. And that's what I always admired and respected about you, that your journey of wanting to be better and doing the work to improve. So as a witness to that, you should be proud, you know, because I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've been benefit to it, so I'm grateful. Okay, let's do the very last part of here as we close out our spotlight on Master Marco. We're going to do a rapid fire question. This is more of a fun thing that I'm sure everyone wants to know.
I am ready.
All of these very important questions
I'm going to use my
that come to your mind first.
I'm going to use my black belt speed to answer
I will make sure I don't want to forget anything that inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so what's your favorite color?
Purple.
What's your favorite animal?
Eagle.
Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Don't think.
Avatar.
Yes. Favorite hobby?
Fly fishing.
Your favorite place that you've visited so far?
My favorite place that I've visited so far is definitely Hawaii, I have to say. But, you know, in second place, well, Hawaii is more like home because you are from Hawaii, and when we go to Hawaii, it's kind of like going home, you know. Mm. But if Hawaii is out of the question, I'll have to say Yellowstone.
Okay. That was a long, rapid-fire answer. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Favorite Marvel movie is between Doctor Strange and the one that where everyone died. I forgot.
Infinity War?
Infinity War, yeah.
Okay, now last one. If you could have dinner, this is a common question, but I want to hear. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive, dinner. Anyone dead or alive. Honestly, I don't know. I love having dinner with you.
Aww.
But I have to say my favorite philosopher of all times, it would have to be either Socrates or Lao Tzu.
Interesting. All right. Well, there you have it, you guys. Grandmaster Marco Spotlight. So join us next time when we highlight our next instructor. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.